Our next section of Unit 1 involved this idea of a sovereign state. And when we went through our reading there, we found that a sovereign state has four components: population, territory, sovereignty, and government. And we'll get into those.
Okay, so when you mention a state, do you mean like Connecticut or Rhode Island?
No, even though that's what we think of normally here living in the U.S., in a global sense, we're thinking more of a country almost. So the word state and country sort of used interchangeably here. So in our case, in a government class, when we say state for this purpose, we're referring to really a country.
Okay, so not a state like the United States, like the 50, just a state as in a nation state, a country.
Correct.
Okay. Okay, one of the first elements of a state or a sovereign state is that it has a population. And this is defined by a group of people who have membership or their members are citizens of a state.
Territory, it's going to be those land areas with set boundaries in which a state's rule applies. We all are familiar with the boundaries of the United States. Other states around the world have very similar geographic boundaries, whether it's rivers, oceans, up next to other countries. We know what a territory is.
Okay. What if there's a dispute over the territory? Is it still a state?
Yeah, well, sometimes we see that carried out through various wars or conflicts. Sometimes people may have conflict over natural resources. If there's a territory dispute, for example, take like with the Crimea region of Ukraine, that played out where Russia actually took that over. So that's no longer part of Ukraine. We'll see if anything else comes of that. And,
so territories can change and shift all the time.
they can change. They're not set in stone forever. Clearly, the territory of the U.S., when you take U.S. history, expanded from the original 13 all the way to the 50 states today. So.
Okay, the third element is sovereignty. And sovereignty means the ability to rule absolutely within a territory. And to simplify that, that just means that no one else outside of your country can tell you how to run your own. A lot of times they try to. The U.S. is a culprit of that, trying to make other countries do certain things. But for the most part, if you have a sovereign state, the government of your country is the one who makes the rules. No outside force can dictate the inner workings of your country.
The government itself, civics is a citizenship and government class, but what exactly does it mean to have a government? We're going to take a look at the four roles that government has, but really it's that organization inside the state that's going to control basically what happens inside your state.
Okay, the four roles of a government or any government are: the first is to make laws. Second is to protect the state. Okay, that means to protect it from foreign countries and invasions. The third is to keep order, and that is similar to protecting the state, but that's within the country. So how do you keep security and order within your nation state's boundaries? And then lastly, provide services such as schools, hospitals, transportation. So those are the four things that just about every government does in order to be considered a government.
To try to bring this into some current events, when we looked at what's happening in Iraq and Syria right now, the question we asked all of you is the Iraqi government fulfilling those four main roles? And you had to take a look at the evidence that was there, look at the situation with ISIS, and come to the conclusion, are they fulfilling the roles of government?
No.
Yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
They are not. Particularly in northern Iraq, they
No.
cannot satisfy all of these things. So hopefully, from the U.S. perspective, they can gain control over that. But as of now, they are simply not a functioning government in the northern part of the country.